Hey folks, I'm Leon, and this is Mind Your Business Quad Cities, where every month I'll be interviewing small business owners local to the Quad Cities. We want to know who they are and why they do what they do. With a population of 333 million people in the U.S. and only 10% being small business owners, we need to know more. All right, I got Mario here from Allied Electric, located in Prescott, Arizona, servicing the Quad Cities and stretching out to different places in the state of Arizona. The number of the shop's 928-232-4028. I'm excited to have Mario on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Leon. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys having us on the show, and it's we're really grateful for that. So thank you.
Well, this podcast, I created it because I wanted to have a bunch of small businesses come on, give them an avenue to voice what's going on. Because a lot of people don't see what's going on. They don't know why we do things. Right. They just look at your price. They're like, look at this price, look at this price. And they don't just really take a 360 look at small business.
Right.
I know small businesses getting our asses kicked right now. And so that's why I wanted to do the podcast. I wanted to give everybody a voice to say, hey, listen, this is what we do in our industry. This is what we're seeing. This is why we're adjusting. We're just trying to keep our doors open a lot of the time.
Sure.
So that's why we're here. So I'm glad you're on the show. Allied Electric is obviously an electrical company, and you do all sorts of services.
We do. So I say, we're a service company. We're an electrician, but what we really do is service people in their greatest time of need, right? And going back to what you just said about, the prices and people will focus on the prices. It's like our thing is to create more value. How much value can I create? How much value can I pour into our service where, the customer is not focused on the investment anymore. It's more about the value, what they're getting, because we just had a training this morning. We were talking about this. It's like, a person we may come to a customer's house and they'll say, we want to get a couple of different bids because we want to see what the cost should be. We don't know what the price is supposed to be. Well, that's relative because it depends on who you're calling. If you're calling the guy who's working out of a pickup truck who has no overhead and he's not going to be around in 3 years, he can't give you any guarantees and warranties.
You hope he has insurance.
Right. I hope he has insurance. I hope he's insured and hope, do a lot of hoping. His price is going to be a lot different than if you're calling a legitimate company who's going to be there to service you in the future, right? So,
well, God forbid something happens, they can see it through to the very end and make sure it's done right.
Exactly. Make sure that, all right, we're going to be there to do the work, but God forbid anything, which it won't. But if it does, we promise you that you'll call us and we'll be right there to come and take care of that situation for you.
When something goes down south, a lot of times Bobby Buckets is going to disappear on you.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Right. Yeah. His warranties, what they say, his warranties and guarantees is as far as you can see his headlights, his taillights, right?
I'm looking for the guy that everybody else calls. The guy who has the knowledge that the other guys are calling when they get jammed up. Right. That God forbid I get jammed up. That guy's going to see me through and I'm going to be okay. Yeah. Because things do happen.
Exactly. And nobody's impervious to making a mistake or something not happening, but we have a process that we follow that is kind of mitigates that. So, if we go in to fix something in a house, it's not just fix the symptom. Right? It's fix the root cause so it never happens again. And that's where we can guarantee and warranty 100%. But that's where the investment comes in.
That's right.
Because if you call a guy to come out, normally you call an electrical company to come out to take you have a burnt outlet. He's going to change the outlet, but why did the outlet burn? What caused that to happen? Is it a bad neutral somewhere? So we're diving into the situation to really resolve the root cause of it and get it taken care of.
Yeah, and that's not on their radar a lot of the time. No. And that's why you got experience coming out there. That's what you want, especially when you're dealing with electric.
Yeah, it's controlled fire,
that's something you want to cut corners on.
Right, exactly. Or plumbing either. I mean, these are two things you don't want to cut corners in.
So you're tailor-made for the Prescott area.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like little brownstones downtown.
Right.
And you've worked on brownstones before.
I have. I've worked at, Carroll Street in Brooklyn. Yeah. I've done a lot of updating in brownstones there. So I've worked in wiring that was over 100 years old. 100 plus years old.
Yeah, so these structures are familiar to you then.
Yeah, they are. So going back to the old cloth RH wire, I've done that early on in my career. I started off as a non-union electrician. I went to school for recording music. That's how I got into this business. And I was working for the guy who was a live sound guy for Pink Floyd, actually.
Nice.
And he had a shop downtown where he fixed all the Mackie equipment. He was a warranty He repaired all the Mac equipment. So we did all the cosmetic cleaning on the boards, the recording consoles. And basically told me, if you want to get into a studio, become an electrician. That was my entrance into this field.
Nice.
And then later on, I got into the union. But yeah, I've worked on everything from, I started off residential, working in those old buildings, those old brownstones, to newer houses out in Staten Island, newer developments, high-rise work. I did subway work. I mean, I've really had an extensive background in electrical work. I've worked in the industrial and commercial setting. I mean, I was really...
So nothing's going to really surprise you coming out here when you run up on it?
No. I mean, the industry's growing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, the industry is constantly growing and there's new things that come up. But generally, I've basically seen just about, what there is out there. Speaking
of growing, you're growing. You're growing fast.
Yeah.
And so there's something going on there. Not everybody grows like in dog years.
Right.
So you've been here for you're growing really fast. You can see it in the marketing. You can see it in your staff. I've been over to your office to do an estimate for AC3. But I was in the back and I seen what you do back there. So you train your staff. You got a whole room back there. I seen you got electrical boarding, circuits on the wall.
Yep.
I mean, so you do training with your staff.
We do. Yeah. So we focus heavily on that. So now people come to us when we hire on, we look for one, depending on the role you're going to fill. If it is an electrician's role, you obviously have to have the electrical background. You have to know what you're doing. You need to know theory. You need to know why things happen, right? It's the why. A lot of these other companies out here, a lot of these guys, I mean, not just here, I've seen it everywhere. I've worked in Florida, so I've been around. They're installers. They don't really know the why. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing, right? Okay. They're just like putting wires on things and that's it. But when you ask them, and I've had guys come in and I say, I ask them certain questions. I say, do you know, about three-way switches? Do you know about branch rate? Yeah. They'll yes you to death. Meanwhile, 3 feet behind them, there's a board that I'm going to ask them to step up to. And you wouldn't believe how many people are like,
is that what you do with that?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's what I do at the restaurant in the kitchen. I'm like, you can cook? Nice. Yeah. He's like, here's my resume. I'm like, don't worry, come in here.
Right.
I'll come in here real quick.
Exactly. I'm not impressed by your accolade. I don't care where you went to school. I don't care of all your degrees. I want to know, could you do it?
Yeah.
I need to see, can you perform? Can you do that? Can you do what you're telling me you're going to do? One, I need you to draw it out for me. And two, I need you to go and execute that.
Nice.
But beyond that, it's got to be personality, because we're in the service business. You have to have the right personality. Yep. Now we train on that as well, about how to take care of a customer, about really how to meet their needs and their wants, right? Because when they call us to the house, they need to be taken care of in a way that other people aren't taking care of them. A lot of times we get the customers where they're like, we'll ask a battery of questions to like kind of like a detective, right? To kind of find out where they're at. But it's like, you wouldn't believe how many people have had the same issue happen over and over again. And it's because the people that they're calling to come and service them aren't giving them a service.
They're not solving the problem.
They're not solving the problem.
They're there with a mission.
Exactly. They're in and they're out.
Yeah, they're there with a mission. They're not thinking about the guy behind them or the guy in front of them. It's just that they got a mission.
Right.
Fix the outlet.
That's it.
I don't know why it blew up.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Right. And then the customer's calling them back a week later because they haven't resolved the issue.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, an outlet or it could be anything. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And I seen you got the services that you offer. I mean, a lot of them will fit in perfect for here. I was looking on your website. Like, I'm going to have you guys come up and do one of those generators at the house.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you guys do a lot of those?
We do.
That's a big thing out here, isn't it?
It is.
My power goes out all the time in Groom Creek.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a common thing. I mean, the utility company. I mean, they're great at what they do. I mean, I give a lot of credit to APS. I mean, the guys there. I mean, I've had nothing but great experience with them. I mean, we do a lot of shutdowns with them, and they're always really great about their service, right? But I mean, they can't help it. I mean, the grid
it goes down. It is what it is. Tree falls on lines.
That's
fires. It is what it is. They get it up pretty quick.
They do.
I live in the woods, so it goes down quite a bit. And a lot of my neighbors have those cool generators. I'm still old school. Got to roll this damn thing out and plug it in. And I don't know when to turn it off. I have to listen for their generator. That's how I know when to turn it off. I'm like, oh, the power wants to be back on.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of the services that you offer fit in perfectly for where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, the generator thing. We're not we're building that side of the company, the generators. Again, it's about whatever they need. We're there to help them. The only thing we don't do is solar. That I don't do.
Okay.
just because of, they warranty, they service the panels or whatever.
There's a bunch of stuff tied, a lot of red tape with the wire.
Yeah. So we haven't gone into that yet. I'm not sure if we're going to get into that, but right now we're just doing what we're good at and focusing on that,
So another reason I would imagine you're moving very, very fast is like you're killing it marketing. I mean, you are everywhere. Yeah, I could find you on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google at any time. You run funny commercials.
Right.
You have funny commercials with you and your wife, Amber. Whoever's doing the social media or on Instagram has got some funny bits going on there.
Right.
You highlight your staff, which is great. That makes them personable. So you're killing it. If I look for you on Google, I find you in 3 of the money spots right on the first page. You're resonating. Dude, that's great. That's great.
Good news.
That doesn't happen a lot, man.
Leon, that makes me happy.
So you're killing it and went to that. So give me a little insight about how you got here, because it's been the business is about 3 years, 4 years.
So we started the business September of 2019. So yeah, not that long.
Yeah. I mean, so you're like I said, you're moving in door gears when it comes to the way you're marketing. Yeah. Tell me what you're doing.
So by nature, I'm just a very aggressive person in everything that I do. I mean, I think you could understand that. I mean, you're doing the same thing. I mean, I see you guys growing like the same way, and it's incredible. But yeah, I mean, it's just that hunger for growth and to fill a void in the community that wasn't there before, to service people really in a way that they're not being serviced. And we've been really blessed with the people that we have as our team. We do, like I said, we do focus on personality. They got to fit the culture of the company. They gotta have the same, they gotta have the same vision that I have. They gotta buy into that vision.
That's right.
And what it is having the best service company out there and being able to get to the customer and take care of them like nobody else is. Everybody's bought onto that. So it really is like a family, with Allied Electric. I mean, everybody's really
Why
close.
aren't you scared to market? So I see this.
No,
I see a lot of small companies.
Yeah.
They're scared to market. It's money, without a doubt. It costs money,
but you have to spend money to make money.
It's a necessary evil. You have to do it, and people don't. They just don't, and then they wonder why people don't come through the doors,
right,
or the phone doesn't ring,
right.
And so I see it a lot. So I mean, were you doing this before you opened Allied?
No, so I wasn't. No, and actually, I was in a band years ago, and marketing was the hardest thing for us. It was like we could write the music, we could play the shows, but the marketing aspect was always like a mystery, and nobody could ever get it right. Nobody could ever do it and get real results out of it. And then when we started this business, it was the same thing. Like we were getting like marginal result. Like it wasn't really, I'm spending all this money, and I'm oh man, like the phones aren't ringing.
Yep.
One, it's organic. It takes time for people to learn about you, right?
Yes.
Word of mouth. That's the first place you go. So you're out there hustling, doing your thing.
Networking,
going to the chamber. That's where I first met you, right? We met at the Chamber of Commerce.
The chamber,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And so doing that, and then once you get that momentum going, it's like, you got to find a company that knows how to highlight what you do that's good, I guess. You know what I mean? Like not every marketing company does that.
Oh, no, they're all over the place. Everybody's a marketing guy.
Right.
He SEO your side,
right.
They do the face. Everybody, they're all over.
They want to show you all the technical stuff, the jargon that I don't understand.
And it's just like going to the dojo. Some guy's a white belt, that guy's a yellow belt, and this guy, you got a black belt, the sensei over there. I want the sensei.
Right.
You got to find the sensei because you will waste money.
Oh,
you will waste a ton of money marketing trying to find the sweet spot. 100%. If you find somebody who can do it right, it's a world of difference.
And that's what it is. Like I said, we have a group of people that we're friends with across the country that own other electrical business, other types of contracting business. They were in the same type of market we were in. So they experienced the same types of challenges that we have in the same market. And this one particular lady told us, me and Amber, we were sitting down talking. She says, "Hey, I was getting the same results you were getting until I hired this one particular company, and we dominated the market after that."
Nice.
Because they know how to attack each area.
That's right.
They know how to build a story. They know how to attack each area, and they know how to get you out there. And really, they handle everything. Before I was handling the radio stations, we were for time slots and all this stuff. You have to spend money though.
You got to get out there.
You have to get out there. You can't be afraid. It's mindset, Leon.
Yeah.
Forget about money. It's mindset.
You got to plug yourself in. No pun intended.
100%.
I mean, you got to plug, especially in a small community like this, which is easy to do. It's not hard to do for us because I mean, look, I live in Groom Creek. There's like 17,000 people in Groom Creek. Like in a square city block in Manhattan, there's 175,000 people.
Exactly. So it's not oversaturated. The market, like it is in other places.
You know, my community is like, so it's not hard for me to look at this community and go like, find the good in it. Because it's just so open for that, you know?
Right.
When you come from a bigger place like that, it's just like you get closed vision on your block.
Right.
Because you're like, that's your community right here. You got to take care of it like what's right here.
Right.
My block is like, it's huge here. It's Groom Creek. It's the Quad Cities, Prescott, Pre-V, Chino. I mean, it's great. We got 16% of the population's veterans. Yeah. It's a great community. It's conservative.
Absolutely.
They still fly the flag.
Right.
I mean, you feel normal here. It's like, it's not too crazy still. Right. So
people care about each other here.
Yeah. It's you still got that. And we had that where we were. It's just less condensed in a smaller area. Yeah. You can't love 175,000 people.
No. Well, back in the day, because you're from Brooklyn, like I'm from Brooklyn, right? You're from Gravesend. You're from
East
Gravesend?
21st.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then back over to Staten Island.
Right. So I was born in Gravesend and we lived in, we're from Bensonhurst, right?
Okay.
Years ago, there was a community there. Everybody knew everybody. It was easy to get around and people knew who you were. Then years later, living in Manhattan, you're in this place that's like, I mean, you get lost.
Saturated.
Yeah, you get lost. And it's funny because people say, how do you feel lonely in such a place where there's so many people? It's like, because you're isolated, really.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
When you get into a population like that, all the norms, they go out the window.
Yeah.
You're not talking to people and saying hello. That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right.
If you're the one doing that, you got a problem.
Right.
Now here, it's very appropriate.
Right.
And that's normal.
Right.
But when you live in a big city, the norms go out the window.
Yeah.
I'm sizing up this guy over here. He's begging for money. I got a crackhead. He's on the floor over here. Everybody else is handling their business. This guy's trying to catch the bus. You know what I mean?
So it's like, says hello to you, you're on guard.
Yeah. What is this? I don't know him.
Right.
There's 1,000 people around me right now. This ain't the place to talk.
Exactly. and the thing is, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's like if you take, it's like a bee's nest, right? If you get a lot of people in a concentrated area, people become irritated.
They do.
Right? It's like everything, every personality trait, everything becomes magnified.
Yeah.
But now if you give people space, you spread them out, they're just people. They're the same people everywhere. You know
it's just different circumstances.
Exactly.
You gotta apply yourself there.
Right.
You get the lessons from your parents,
Exactly.
You
exactly.
don't walk down the dark side of the block. You know, it's things you got to pay attention to. Like out here, my kids, they climb trees. I played on roofs. Right. They're like, what's a roof? I'm like, shut up. I'm like, I played on the roof. And they're like, really? You played up there? I'm like, my roof was different.
Yeah. No, it's a different world. And that's why, and I'm sure, coming from there, it's like, I kind of had this idea of what this town was, right? Small town, it's easy to be seen in a town like this because I'm a loud person. We're loud by nature. Like
yes.
just, so it's easy to get out there. I'm a friendly person. You're the same way. We could talk to anybody because of where we come from. Yeah. You're used to talking to all different types of people.
Yeah. In all different situations.
In all different situations. I could really say that I've seen, living in New York City, coming from Brooklyn, living in Staten Island, I've seen 95% of the people on this planet.
It seems like that.
Right. Because I've met most people from most places and dealt with people from most places. So to come here and to do business, it's easy because it's like I've already been conditioned for that,
Yeah. Yeah. And the landscape's a lot more friendly.
Right.
It's like I love doing business here.
Right.
I'm like, if I was doing business back there, I wouldn't. It's the reason why I left California.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I'm here. It's the reason why I'm doing the podcast, because I'm trying to shed some light on what's happening in the small business.
Right. Yeah.
We've had like 5.5 to 6 million businesses that hire for the last 20 years. What does it tell you? They've been stagnating this thing because they've been shitting on our heads. Yeah. They want us to pick up the bill.
Yeah.
Anytime you hire someone, you're going to match Social Security, you're going to match Medicare, your payroll taxes are going to go up, and they're going to continue to pressure that point because they can't get money for anywhere else.
Right.
They don't make money.
Yeah.
They take it from you. So they'll continue to pressure the small businesses, and they're able to do that because there's a miscommunication in the public and small business. If there's only 33 million small businesses and 350 million people in the country, not a lot of people know somebody that's got a small business. Right. So they listen to the news, which I don't know why you would do that, but they do. They listen to the bullshit like, these tax cuts are for the LLCs and the S Corps, meaning like, hello, every small business is an LLC and an S Corp. So they pit everybody against each other. They don't realize that you're here in the community, you're creating jobs, you're putting back into the community. I think of it like this.
If I was to give you a tax break, what would you do with your money?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what most people do with their money. I know what I would do with it. It'd be going back into my business.
Exactly. That's my point. That's exactly. Everybody that's sat in that chair so far, that's an entrepreneur, that's a business guy, does the same thing.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you get the fuck out of their way? You know what? If you want to stimulate shit, get out of the way of the people that are doing things. Well, don't stifle them.
Yeah, it's like the big corporations. They just want to take everything over. And I understand. We live. There's capitalism here. I understand how it works. I know. But it's like. It seems like we're moving in that direction, right? Like look at what happened during COVID. Yeah. Look who got shut down.
It steamrolled it faster.
Right. Even in New York, going back to Manhattan, all those businesses on First Avenue, they were all boarded up.
Yeah, it's a wreck there.
Yeah, right.
If you're in a blue state, Cali, New York, I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't fun here, but it was a lot better than it was there. Somebody had some normalcy here.
Right.
But it was a crazy time, and they just the control that they did. I mean, it was unreal.
What I think it is to here, like we just said, that there's more of a community here. People stick together here. People talk. People are more likely to question things here than they are in New York, because in New York, California, these big cities, you're so busy, running and trying to pay your bills and this and that. You don't have time to think about
what the hell's
the
going on
government's
next
doing to you, or who's taking what away from you, or is that my right or is that not my right? Here, people they know their rights, which they should.
It's definitely more conservative. Thank goodness.
Absolutely. For that. I mean, I'm happy about that. I mean, I'm not really, politically oriented.
I don't bother.
Yeah,
if you suck, you suck. I don't care what's in front of your name.
That's it. Let's see what the topic is. Let's talk about it, and I'll tell you what my position is on it. You know. But other than that, this community is I feel like it's a tighter knit community, and
it is.
Yeah,
it is. And I love the way it's growing.
Yeah.
I like that. There's control on the growth.
Sure.
Like I think like there should be, that we didn't have in the city. There's a lot of anti-growth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Sure.
Well, I don't get that.
I don't get it
because it's like most of the people that are anti-growth are the older people in the community.
Yeah, they're just holding on to some
and they just got
paradigm and that they don't want to let go of it.
They're all from where we came from.
Yeah, right.
They're just older without kids.
Right.
So they can close the door behind them.
Right.
I'm like, but I got kids.
Right.
That's not fair.
Right. Well, it's like this country. Open the door. I understand. We have to, be mindful of what we do, but how do you walk through a door and then close it behind you?
Yeah.
Or want to close it behind you?
Growth is just what's going to happen. You should control it. Try your best to control it so you don't have stupid stuff showing up here like you do in the city.
Right.
You know? Because that's not why I came here.
No.
I would hate to see some projects go up in PV.
Right.
Because the city thinks they could do something better than maybe a private sector could. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
I'm with you there. 100%.
All right. So last but not least, tell me your wife, Amber, you got a baby's name?
Sadie. Yeah. We have, she's 27 months now. Her name is Sadie. We had her, we never planned on having kids, really, me and Amber. We were very focused on our careers when we were in New York. Mm-hmm. And just going back real quick, I just want to back up for a second. You said something before that I want to just touch on about opportunity here. When I first came in, I'm sure you've seen the same thing. When you first come to a city, all the great things about this town are great. But the thing was, there wasn't a lot of opportunity.
No.
Coming from New York, coming from the union, making a certain amount of money, and I was used to that type of money. I knew I was going to take a step backwards coming out here, and that was okay because I was ready to leave there. I wasn't trying to make the same money over here. But the reason why I started this business in the first place was because there was no incentive. There was no opportunity to grow. Mm-hmm. I was going to be fighting the rest of my career for $2 an hour and trying to and not have really any quality of life. Now, to get out here, I would have worked in I would have done anything I had to do to work. And I told Amber, I said, listen, if I don't get this job with this electrical company, I'll do whatever I got to do to make it happen. I'll work in the grocery store. I don't care. Mm-hmm. As long as I'm out of the city, as long as I'm here, I'll do it. Getting a job and when they finally told me how much they wanted to pay me, I had my resume and I was just like, oh man, all right, no problem. I was happy about it. I was grateful for it. It got my feet on the ground, right? But I started this business. I saw holes in the service industry, and I saw that I was only going to go so far. So the reason why I started this business, because I wanted to give people like myself who was a tradesman, who went through, who knows the trade, to be able to earn a good living, live in a place, have a great quality of life, provide for their family, and do great work. And that's what Allied Electric was born out of was that idea.
Was that mentality.
And it's funny because I hear a lot going to supply houses, all the business owners say, I can't find good people. Not just in our industry, in other industries. And I say, well, how do you incentivize those people? How do you get a guy to stay with you who's loyal, who's reliable, who takes care of the customer in a way that you would take care of him personally yourself because it's your business? You're gonna have that guy fight you for $1 an hour or $2 an hour?
No, that guy you got to take care of.
That guy you got to take care of. Now, every guy is that guy for me in my company.
That's nice.
I'm not every not just guy, but woman or man in the company. They have a very important role there. They're integral to the success of the business. So I'm gonna do whatever I could do to take care of them because I know that if I take care of them, that's gonna trickle down. They're gonna take care of that customer. Just like the way I took care of the customer when I was by myself, they're going to take care of the customer.
That mentality is a rare mentality, and it's the mentality of not a how I get my. So this is kind of how I operate too. So it's a different mentality. It's the mentality of how do I get myself into the end zone? Right. How do I get the whole team into the end zone? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I do things at my business. Is I have an A team. I try to grow people onto that A team, and they move with me. Right. They jump off cliffs with me. They acquire shit with me. They come into ownership with me. Right. And we want to grow. Right. We want shit. They have an appetite. Right. They want things. They want houses. Housing market's out of control. Right. We want things. So we're moving, and they hustle with me. Right. So yeah, you're like you said, they're entitled to the profits, the profits and the growth and the potential that company comes with. Right. Because that's why they're killing themselves for you.
Yeah, and you give them a vision, right?
That's right.
Of growth, of hey, there's no ceiling here, right? We're going to grow together. We're going to keep growing together, right? As a team, because this is a team effort. Because no man is an island. Like, the old way of doing business. When I first got into this business, I worked for a guy who abused me. He was verbally abusive. I was very close to him. I became very close. It was like an older uncle to me, but he was a very abusive person. He was an old Sicilian guy. His name was Joe.
Shit.
I love him.
I think I know him.
I had the keys to his house. He trusted me, but he didn't trust me.
Yeah.
He couldn't give me that last 10% of trust, and he always had his eyes on me. And I'm like, Joe, let me help you grow the business. We're still working out of one van. He would get a call on his phone. He'd hang up on the customer because he just couldn't be bothered with them. And it's like. So, but it's a different way of doing business. It's a different way of treating people. You can't treat people like that anymore. I used to, I know it's like, oh, I used to go to school without shoes on the snow, but this is the truth. I used to travel from Staten Island to the South Bronx on a fucking train and buses and ferries, everything but take an airplane to get to work every day for $60 a day in cash.
What are you doing up there?
Electrical work.
Shit, in the Bronx?
Yeah, in the South Bronx.
Down?
Hunts Point. Yeah.
Shit.
I used to go, so you know Staten Island, right?
Yeah.
So imagine it's going to the ferry, right? Taking the 74 to the ferry, right? Getting off the ferry, going to Bowling Green, taking up to 125th Street, then transferring to the 6 to Hunts Point.
You shouldn't be up there.
Right. You know that area, right?
You shouldn't be up there.
Okay. So 22 years ago.
You missed a couple of stops.
Right. Well, after 125th Street, that's where you're supposed to exit the train.
That's right.
Right? Because if you don't live up there, you don't belong in that area. Right. And I was going up there for $60 a day. And this guy used to tell me, meet me there at 7 o'clock in the morning and leave me sitting on the fucking corner of 169th Street and Southern Boulevard for 2 hours like a sitting duck. I would tell him, Joe, you're going to get me killed. Do you understand? You got to come and pick me up or I'll just meet you somewhere else. But so for $60 a day, this is what I was doing, to learn the trade, to learn the business, you know what I mean? But it's a different world today. I mean, people, I'm happy that I'm able to give somebody more. I'm able to offer more to people out here in Prescott, Arizona.
It's just harder. It's harder for us to do what we do.
Yeah.
Because we're going to take care of people. Yeah. We're going to make sure they grow.
Right.
But just the quality people has gone away. So you got to go through a lot more people to find that person who's actually worth it.
Yeah. Well, or you got to give them, you got to share with them the vision. Right? Because you could have a great guy, but if he doesn't feel like that he has any way to grow or he, it's just a dead end job to him, what's he going to give you?
Yeah.
He's not going to give
There's
you
no dreams
money.
there.
Right. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to shoot for, right?
That's right.
You got to give him something to shoot for.
Yep.
And that's what you're doing.
That's right. If I'm running and they're running with me, then they grow with me.
Right. By the way, I tell everybody about Ciao Bella. I mean, personally,
thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm a raw vegan, but I hear my father. You just met my father.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
My father was like, I felt like I was back in Brooklyn.
Nice.
Food is excellent.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I did it. Juvie does an amazing thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how we met. through some bullshit.
Yeah.
But things work out in the weirdest of ways.
Yeah.
But he's legit. The guy's legit. He does like I'm amazed with him.
Right.
I sneak up on him in the restaurant. He's stretching fresh mozzarella and I'm like, what the? He's listening to opera. I'm like, what the? For real, dude. And then he shuts it off when he knows I'm there. He shuts it off, and I'm like, dude, no, you like.
Yeah, be who you are.
Dude, like, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is good, bro. I got to show people this.
This is why, because he's in his zone. He's in his zone.
He loves what he does. He's passionate about it. But it's just another industry that I just want to let people know about because it's getting the shit kicked out of it from the inside.
Yeah. And then you also have a cleaning a company.
AC3, which is really different than what the restaurant industries go through.
Right.
And it's just another reason why I want people's eyes to open and go, hey, like, this is what we're seeing. You need to know what we're seeing.
Right.
You need to know what's getting jammed up my so you could understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, because sooner or later in the next 10 years you're going to have a lot of big chains and you're not going to have any small mom and pops.
They're going to take care of you.
That's right. It's going to be totally different. So understand what you're looking at. Like I'm blessed to be coming from outside the industry.
Right.
Because I just strictly look at the numbers and then I adjust. And I don't care about the noise and who pisses off, gets mad. And like, we're not going to eat the freaking credit card fee.
Right.
Not doing it. Sorry.
Yeah.
As soon as I seen that shit come in at $6,000 a month, I said, Juvie, we're not doing it. He said, well, some people do it. Some people don't. Some people have a problem with it. I said, listen, I have a problem with what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
That's my problem right here. We're not doing it. And we didn't do it. Most people understood. Some people had a problem with it. Yeah. But the thing is, times have changed and you got to adjust to the landscape.
Right.
This is what I'm looking at. I have a lot of friends that are old timers that have been in this restaurant industry for a long time. Yeah. They're done. They've sold their shit. They've packed up and they've left. And they ask me, what the hell are you doing there? Yeah. And it's because the landscape has changed so much and they've been beat up so bad that they're like, I'm not doing this no more. It's ridiculous because they continue to dig into their pocket and dig into their pocket. And that's just the way this is set up to work. Yeah. Government's going to go to where the money is. So if you produce, you're where the money is. So they're going to come to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and if you're aggressive and motivated and want to do things for the community, well, that's an endless reserve of energy that's going to produce money that I can tap into. Right. I'm going to keep coming back to you. Right. Like I'm a freaking mob. Right. I show up. You should send me a birthday card, bro. I get shit in the mail from them. My kids know what it looks like. They did dad another one. Dad another one. I'm like, what? You get the same things, I'm sure.
Yeah, you pick up the slack for the ones
all
that
these
don't
little
do it.
things, and and it continues to go on the back of small business. So if the public knows what's going on, they have a better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing. Yeah. We're not just here trying to make a profit. That's not what this is.
No, but you're also looking at the numbers, and so a lot of companies, and I know. I was a waiter in the restaurant business. I never ran a restaurant, but I heard it's probably one of the hardest industries to get off the business to get off the ground and keep going. Right? It's ridiculous. It's cutthroat.
It's ridiculous.
And funny story, I'll tell you off the air. I was a waiter. I had some crazy experiences in the restaurant in my old neighborhood uptown Manhattan. But. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the numbers. You're flying the plane. These other companies that maybe aren't charging, they're not focused on that, and that's why they don't last because they're not
honest about it. They just put it into the menu.
Right.
I'm upfront. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to pull a punch. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm operating the business. I tell you exactly how I take care of my people. Right. If you don't like it, that's okay. But I'm going to keep my doors open.
Right. Because not everybody's your customer. And it's full transparency.
Yeah. I'm going to try to. I got to keep my doors open. I have people that work for me that are counting on a paycheck. Right. You know what I mean? Like I got to keep my doors open. So when it gets to a point that it doesn't make sense, well, then that's a lot of disappointed people. That's a lot of jobs lost. That's a lot of small businesses going away. And that's what we got to fix. That's what we got to shine a light on because they pull the bag over everybody's head with their bullshit. Right. It's all semantics, but nobody knows what they're listening to.
Do you find people complain about prices and customers and stuff like that? Is that something that you deal with or no?
Not so much. I think right now we continue to be fairly priced, but that's just something that goes into your profit margin. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just something that, we get weird taxes, like equipment taxes. This is something that goes into your profit margin. They want to raise the minimum wage. That's fine. Listen, you don't got to tell me to pay my people more. Right. I pay my people top dollar. Right. Like minimum wage, you can shove it up your ass. They all get paid more than minimum wage. Right. Way more. Well, so you don't got to force me to do that. Right. But when you start forcing me to do things that don't make sense, what are you doing? Yeah. Like I can't work on fairy tales and feelings. I got to look at numbers. Right. You want to do fairy tales and feelings that doesn't mix here. Right. So I don't know. I think we got a clearer way coming ahead of us, hopefully, but I don't know how long that will last. So small business is the backbone of everything here. And so that's one of the reasons why it's as I continue to do more and more small business, I continue to see stuff that I'm like, this has got to be a joke. And it's not. It's not a joke. It is what it is. And it's the cost of doing business. But people need to know what that looks like.
Yeah, 100%.
People need to know what that looks like.
Well, to run a successful business, there has to be things in place. Like, I mean, anybody can open something up and say, I'll do it for this price, but how long are they going to be around for?
That's right.
What's the product going to be like? What's the service going to be like?
And that's what I feel bad, because a lot of small business, they don't know what's going on. You're going to take punches, that's for sure. But if you could at least get out of the way of some of them by knowing what's coming down the pipe, then you'll be okay.
There's a ton of, I mean, not just our industry, but like, the restaurant industry. There's other people business owners that I know in our networking group and other places where, it's nice to be able to do things for people and not charge them. Everybody loves to help people. I mean, it's human nature to want to help people and do that. And you can. But there's got to be a point where it's like, okay, I'm running a business here.
That's right.
And if I keep doing this, I'm not going to have a business. I'm not going to be around for those people that I promised I'd be around for.
Yeah.
And to continue to service them 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, if I continue to do the things I'm doing. And that was a turning point for us in the business where it's like, okay, I don't want to charge more, but I kind of have to.
You got to stay loyal to your business.
I got to be able to pay people who are skilled at what they do a fair wage, right? I got to be able to give the customer a fair price, and all do this while still balancing the checkbook and still trying to keep the doors open.
That's right. Paying your insurances,
vans, and I mean the upkeep of doing business is astronomical.
It is.
People sometimes will be like, "How much does it cost to put an outlet?" It's like, because you're looking at the price of the outlet. How much does it cost for a doctor to take you to draw your blood? What does the needle cost? 8 cents?
Yeah.
What do they charge you? $1,300? You're paying for
the skill set.
Yeah. You're paying for the wisdom. You're paying for the years and years of expertise. Yep. That nurse is not going to collapse your veins by taking your blood, right? Or do something crazy. Well, because people don't realize we're not an installer. When you call us or when you go to another business, you're going for the experience. You're going because you can't do it, or you don't want to do it, or you shouldn't be doing it.
You shouldn't be doing it.
Right. You shouldn't be doing it. Right. Some people
electric.
Are in the kitchen.
Don't mess around with electric.
or get out of the kitchen.
Draw the line.
You know what I mean? Some people don't belong in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So it's the truth. It is what it is.
That's one of the things about ownership. It's just like, people don't realize this. You just tell them like, hey, there's sometimes I don't get paid.
Yeah.
There's just sometimes I don't get paid. I run payroll,
But
and I go, oh shit.
It's sweat equity.
It ain't going to happen.
Right.
It ain't going to happen. Maybe next month. Maybe next month I'll get it good.
Yeah.
And then maybe next month it doesn't happen. Oh shit. Maybe next month I'll get it good. Yeah. And that's what you go forward knowing that you're going to get it. Or maybe you won't. But you have faith in what you're looking at.
Right.
You're like, okay, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're taking care of everybody else, making sure everybody else is taken care of because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's the cost of doing business. And most people just don't.
And you believe in what you're doing.
Most people just don't see that. They're like right here. They really are. Yeah. This is right in front of their face.
That's it.
I see that at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about the restaurant. You can see so many different people, and in like an AC3, our customer base is like really tight. Uh-huh. Like they like us, we like them. All the customers like us for the most part in the restaurant. But there are some people that I gotta imagine don't.
Right.
They told me they don't.
Well,
they've told me they don't, but they come in.
Not everybody's
and they come in all the time, and they eat the food, but they don't like us. Right. And so it's a weird thing because I would never ask them to leave.
Right.
But if it was like AC3, I would say, hey, here's a referral for this hood company.
Right.
We're going to go this way. You can take it that way.
Right.
But I pay my guys to smile. And it's hard to smile when people don't like you.
It is. Listen, it's and like the people on the front lines in our business and your business, you're up and personal with them too, right? So like you got them, and I know because I work, like I said, I was a waiter in the restaurant. It is not an easy business to be in.
No,
it is not an easy business to be in. People want to nitpick. They want to, they want to be serviced.
Eating's personal.
Yeah, it's very personal.
People get hangry. That's a thing. I've never realized that until I started doing this shit. That's a real thing.
It is.
I tell the servers, garlic knots, get them out. Give them now. We might run out. I'm like, we're not going to run out. Give them out. You're about to get beat up for, give them a garlic knot. Yeah. They're pissed. So that's a real thing. Eating's personal. People like things a certain way. So it's just like this weird thing. So I try to make sure everybody's experience is really good.
Yeah.
My people take care of you. Just make sure you take care of my people. Because that's when I do. Like, you can't I like my people. You can't be not nice to my people and shit. You start being not nice to my people, and it's not a good thing because I got to actually leave. And like they're good people. That's why they're here.
Right.
If you see my team's really good. Yeah. They're young people learning how to work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they come from good families, good backgrounds, clean cut, well spoken. They're really good.
Yeah.
So I really like them. So I don't like if people abuse them. It's upsetting.
And there's no reason for that.
No, there's no reason for that. There's no reason. It's normally some old person on some little kid too. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. They're just taking a day out on somebody. It's like, you know what? Like that's not fair to do that to somebody. You know, nobody deserves that. The guy's just trying to make a living. You know, and maybe he loves what he does. You know what I mean? But
a lot of times it's not them. What you really want to do is be upset with the guy in the kitchen. Right. Who's taking a little too long with the shit coming out.
Right.
It's really not the server guy. You know, the server's like, hey, the server's like, yo, I'm pissed off with them too. Yeah. You know, they're messing my day up too.
He's got to learn how to get on that side.
That's right. You got to work the table.
Right.
You're like, I don't know what's going on in the kitchen today.
Listen,
I'm going to talk to them.
I'm going to go handle that guy in the back of you right now.
That's right.
I'd be pissed off too.
That's right.
Yeah. You got to know how to talk to people.
You got to have a personality.
That's what it is. If you're dealing with people up and personal, you got to have a personality. You got to be able to know when to switch gears.
It's true, right? Get in and out.
100%. Absolutely.
So I appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah. Once again, we're talking with Mario from Allied Electric, located in Prescott, servicing the Prescott Quad Cities. Number is 928-232-4028. All right, Mario, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing what you do and why you do what you do. It's great to have you being a part of this community. Yeah, Leon, thanks again for having us. I really appreciate it. I was really excited when I got the message to come on the show. So I would look forward to doing it again. Anytime you would have us on, we'd be more than happy to do it. And thank you again for everything that you do. I mean, your services, I know your cleaning company helps us out. And I mean, you guys have a great restaurant, and everybody that comes into town with us, we send them right to you. So appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks, Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Your Business Quad Cities. We will see you next time. We have a new episode every month. Check us out wherever you stream podcasts. Mind Your Business Quad Cities is proud to be on Cast 11, Prescott's podcast network.